Alright guys, what's up? It's Destructor Gaming Channel here, and got yourselves a video of how to fix gaming, because quite honestly, I just want to fix video games. I just want to fix gaming, or at least give out some ideas to how to fix gaming to make it really better, honestly, because, you know, I feel like it can still be great despite all the misery and crap that the gaming industry does these days with the crappy games like Redfall or something, you know, like that shit, for example. But anyway, let's start out with the first thing. If you want video games to be better, you gotta start with yourself. And what I mean by that is, stop buying games when they come out. Do not buy games when they come out, unless you know for a fact that the game is actually good and very stable. But let's be honest here, 9 times out of 10, that doesn't exactly happen at all, alright? Because if you stop buying games when they come out, the gaming developers and publishers are going to realize, oh wait, we can't just get away with releasing subpar, you know, glitchy, broken, unfun games. You can actually, they will encourage them to put more effort, so that way you can actually put money in their pockets. Because when a game comes out, especially you live in like other countries that's not the United States, like Canada or some shit, for example, where I live, like a new game comes out, it's like 70, 80 bucks, like 80 bucks, like holy shit. That's like 60 bucks down in the US, plus fucking like, you know, a couple DLC expansions. That should be a new game in Canada. So like us Canadians have to buy more because, again, the liberals are fucking so awesome in Canada. But enough about politics. This is about gaming. But still, you gotta stop buying games when they come out, okay? If you want this shit to be better, you really need to stop doing it. And the reason why you need to stop doing it is quite simple. It's to show that you actually have standards. Because if you're going to buy something, you might as well just wait when it goes on sale. That way you get the best value for yourself, and a lot of things are just obviously so mediocre. Because if gaming developers and just the gaming industry in general is going to release shit that's mediocre, then you might as well just be like, okay, I'll just wait for it to be on sale if you're going to really want to. Or better yet, don't buy them at all. Just stick to the good old classic games, because those are the good games. Or better yet, actually do something else, like work out in your life, and don't sit on your fat ass all day. But still, you might as well just wait, alright? Let's also talk about the fact that you guys start being vocal, okay? People are just afraid of the truth. They're not actually afraid of speaking their mind. You gotta speak your mind, alright? Speak on your mind, and if you have like a hot take that not everyone agrees with, you know, especially on a game or something, then say it. Say it with confidence, and say why you think that way. So you might actually get some people that actually start rethinking their opinions and stuff. You never know. You gotta start being vocal, because it's one thing just to start spending with your wallet basically and save money. It's one thing to do that, but like honestly, that doesn't always work, okay? Because like that can only go so far. It's a great start, but still you gotta be vocal and actually start using criticism. You gotta be constructive and point out what was good and what was bad. Because if you start doing those things, I guarantee you, things will start going a lot better, a lot quicker, and we will all be better off for it. Also, you just gotta have standards, okay? Have a standard. Have certain standards. Like when you expect a game, you expect it to be good, finished, and actually have lots to do and not unfinished. You're like, oh, we'll have some DLC expansion stuff. No, none of that shit. You do not want to do that. I mean, this started out in like the late 2000s, but it started creepily getting worse in like almost the last 10 years because the people have lost their standards along the way. And it was time for, now you're just getting nothing but just complete glitchy, broken mess. I mean, why do you think there's games are going to be famous for having terrible launches, but now later on they're like, oh, they're a lot more fun and stuff. But by that point, it's too little too late. People don't care that way. You gotta start like having standards. Sure, it's alright to add things to the game. That's fine. DLC's fine at all, but it should not be come to the point where it's basically just nothing more than just like, oh, just stuff that it's like a beta. You can't have games be nothing but glorified betas. Like, fuck that shit. I remember NHL 15 on the Xbox One and PS4 being nothing but a glorified fucking like a beta basically, and they added all like modes and shit and whatnot. And thankfully EA wised up to it, but they still made mediocre, crappy hockey games. But still, they did that shit and people bought it. I was one of them, but yet again, I was like what, 13, 14 when that came out. So I was a dumb teenager. So what do I fucking know? But still, point is, you need to have standards. Okay, it's good for yourself, and you actually will hold yourself to an actual standard and accountability. Because if you do, things will be a lot better. Now, let's talk about the fact that this is actually quite important. Don't forget like what the game developers done. Don't just be all like ASCII's like, oh, it's okay. No, you were like, no, you gotta give it tough love. It's like, what the fuck was this? Why did you do it like this? And don't forget about it. If the game developers are actually not making progress, remind them like, no, don't accept this mediocrity. Because if you start accepting mediocrity, things will just nothing more than mediocre trash. Okay, you gotta be like, don't forget the crap that led to this crap. Let's just be honest. Don't forget that the honest truth that these games are nothing but half-ass crap. Don't forget about it. And if they're actually making progress, still remind them. You need to remind them like what they have become, and you gotta tell them like clean this fucking shit up. It's like a parent telling the kid like just like fucking to actually, do chores or some shit when they're grounded. Like, yeah, when the kid gets grounded, once they're ungrounded, it doesn't mean you can just all forget about it. It's like, no, there's a reason why you got grounded. So you gotta remind them, instill discipline and respect. That's just kind of how it is with, like, gaming. You gotta actually do that shit. It kind of goes to the point of have standards. Don't forget this shit. You can forgive them, but say, we will remember. That's just kind of how it is, in my opinion. Also, start giving out ideas that can help. It's all good to construct and put things down. It's all great for fucking laughs and entertainment. But at the end of the day, if you don't actually have any ideas going out and make things better, it's just gonna be nothing but negativity, and that's not exactly what you want to do. You need to actually give us some cool ideas. If you think you have a cool game mode idea you want to put in this game, or like some features, weapons, like you name anything, say it. Fucking like say in the review, like I would like them if they did this, that, like whatever it may be. You gotta give some cool ass ideas to actually make the game much more interesting. Because if you do that, the game developers and the people actually understand, because like when they're not being so burnt down from making the game itself, because it's not exactly easy to like make video games. It's fucking a difficult job, and I have respect for people who actually do that shit. But at the same time, we can't exactly just forgive them for their bullshit. You gotta give them some cool ideas, because maybe like an outside voice and opinion can really help them understand, like, that was a good idea. I'm gonna add this to the game. You would actually be surprised how that shit works. Like, give it a shot. Who the fuck knows? It might lead to something. Plus, the last thing I gotta talk about is expect new things in games, okay? Let's say everything's going well so far that I mentioned with the video, right? If everything's going so far well, give out new ideas. You gotta make sure they gotta expand and make sure they add different things, because you don't want the same game over and over again. That gets dull and monotonous. So you gotta expect new things. It kind of goes back to the point of like having standards. You expect something new and innovative, because like when they're making a game, especially if it's a sequel, you expect new shit. Because otherwise you're just playing the same game, and why would you buy this when you just go play the original? Like, honestly, it'd just be like, oh, let's buy a new game, but it's the same shit, except here's multiplayer. It's like, well, I might as well just play the other game instead, then why the fuck did you make this? Like, it's a waste of fucking money. Expect new things in games, because if you don't, well, we're going to be back to square one, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, if you actually just follow my simple 6 steps, gaming will be good, and it'll be really fun, and we'll be having a good old happy time and all that other shit, alright? But anyway, this has been Destructor Gaming Channel here. Hope you'll enjoy this video. Take care, and of course, God bless you all.